Hi, it's Alex. I'm back with another update. And today I wanted to discuss all the stuff I've been working on for Ker Nethalas for the new Gravebound Edition. As you know, I've been working on this for the last 4 months or so. And well, I think it's a huge improvement for the game. So, well, for those of you who don't know, the Greybound Edition is the next update, which is actually already available for everybody who owns the core book. You can go to DriveThruRPG or itch.io and you'll find there all the files, all the beta files. So in case you don't have access to it and you're a bit curious about what has changed, I'll just go over here. I have the index. I'm checking it myself here on the screen. So yeah, the biggest change is the new damage system because it was a common complaint how the damage dealt was slowing down combat. So that's gone, and it's been replaced with a new system that it achieves the same goal, which was to ensure there will not be any health bloating, and you will not end up fighting enemies with 200 health. It's a common problem with health-based um, systems. And well, there's been a few other streamlining of the combat rules and small changes here and there. The biggest thing and addition has been incorporating a lot of the optional rules from the Vaelorian Codex, from the three issues of the Vaelorian Codex. I've taken a lot of optional rules and made them core because I knew a lot of people were using them. So all in all, it's about 30 pages of new content in this new Greybound edition of the core rules. And like I said, if you are curious about it, you own the book, you can just go to the digital files and download it. The print-on-demand version, the physical version, will be ready as soon as all the art comes in, which should be in early March, according to my calculations, which means the print-on-demand books, after they are approved by DriveThruRPG and Amazon, should be ready in late March, early April. So, yes, next comes the Book of Masteries, which my Patreons already have access to it. So this was, again, I approached it with the idea of just revamping a few things and mostly updating it so it matches the changes I've done to the Greybound edition. But of course, like always, I end up doing a little bit more than I intended, especially since I wanted to compensate for the fact that I took out the Forge of Souls and added it to the Vaelorian Codex. So we had there like 4 or 5 pages missing, and I thought it was just not right to re-release it without something in its place. So I ended up adding 4 new masteries. Well, let me see the list before I forget. So yeah, the new masteries, the first one is the Blood Adept, which, as you can imagine, is a kind of magician arcanist specialized in manipulating blood, especially their own. Most of their abilities work. They have a cost in health, in toughness or health, actually. But the trade the trade off is quite powerful. I think it turned out quite interesting. You also manipulate the enemy's blood. Of course, you can make them bleed and all these kind of things, as you can imagine. So it's a quite interesting new mastery. The next new one is the Commander, which is a mastery I wrote after realizing a lot of people were playing Ker Nethalas co-op. So I wanted to add something that will offer a group utility. But not only that, in case you're a single player and you don't play with other people, you will still benefit from the Commander because it has a big focus on boosting your allies in general, which includes companions and minions. So this one combines very well. If you have companions, it actually gives you access to companions in a much easier way. You don't need to negotiate with them. If you find a companion, they automatically join you. You don't need to make any checks or negotiate with them. They'll just join you. And yeah, I think this one is a fun one for those of you who want to add a little bit of utility to your group, or you are playing a build that focuses on companions and minions. This one is a useful one. Next, we have the Thornbinder, which is another one that I think I think this one actually had planned to add to the game even when I was writing the core rulebook. So this one is already 3 years old, but I kept postponing it, and well, finally here it is. As you can imagine by the name Thornbinder, it focuses on controlling plants, and it has two distinct paths. One, it's more manipulation of plant matter and plant life. It deals damage, it attacks, it controls. It's a kind of a controller mastery. And the other path is a minion based mastery, where you summon plant minions like hounds and beasts and weird stuff, and it's all about buffing them, and it actually combines very well with other minion based masteries like the Gravecaller. So Gravecaller Thornbinder combo, it's a very interesting and fun one. I strongly recommend it. And next is the very cool Voidborn, which is this one is a special one because this one is a soulbound mastery. So with the new version of the Book of Masteries, I'm introducing the concept of soulbound masteries, which are masteries that you can only pick when you're creating your character. These masteries, these two, you cannot find them with an amulet. You can only obtain them with a newly created character. So the Voidborn is one of these two. The other one is the Fate Bender, which used to be a regular mastery, but I converted it to a soulbound mastery because I thought it fit the theme of the mastery better, the lore I had written for it. It just works better this way. And the Voidborn, it focuses on being a ether dead zone, basically. If you know how are they call these kind of psychers in Warhammer 40k, that they don't allow any psychic powers around them. Well, this is the same. This is a mastery that has like a null feel around it that makes using ether very difficult. They have, as you can imagine, has a gigantic amount of resistance against any kind of magic attacks, and it's all about disrupting enemies and their magic abilities. So this one is quite powerful. The thing with soulbound masteries is that aside from being innate, they have some positive aspects and some negative aspects. So they are a little bit different from other masteries and quite interesting to use, if I may say so myself. So yeah, with those four new masteries, the Book of Masteries is now over 200 pages, was it? I think. Well, it's 30 something pages longer than it was. No, sorry, it's almost 130 pages long. The original version was around 100 pages. So yeah, it's around 30 pages extra. So this new Book of Masteries, like I said, is already available for my Patreons, and it will be available for everybody else those of you who own the current version of the Book of Masteries next month in February. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming your way. And last but not least is the new revamped Vaelorian Codex, which, like I said, it has become a single tome now. The 3 zines are now one book. Everybody who owns the 3 zines will get this new book for free. Like I said before, you'll get the PDF and an at cost POD code to print it on Drive RPG. And yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed for the new codex, because like I said, I took out a lot of things from the 3 existing zines and added them to the core rules. So to compensate, I added new content. So let me see, I have here the table of content. So yeah, the new codex starts with the commoner player characters, which nothing has changed. It's just how rules to play with a commoner, which makes the game a little bit more difficult, but if you manage to survive, it's definitely worth it. you'll end up with a more powerful character. Next are the flaws and merits. There used to be 10 flaws and 10 merits, and now we have 20 of each. So yeah, it's been doubled. Next is the companions, which is it has changed, but it's mostly I've streamlined a little bit how they are used and their attributes and abilities and all that. They play better now. They're easier to use and they're more versatile. And of course, I adapted them to the new Greybound Edition changes. Next, we have the optional rules, which includes the combat superiority from the first zine, the alternate weapon damage types from this first zine also, combat attrition from the third zine, if I remember correctly, and then we have the environmental hazards also from the third zine. So yeah, those have been adapted to the new rules, but little else. Then we have the enemy modifiers from the second zine and the persistent domains also from the second zine. And then we have a new addition, which are the theme domains. So this is a thing I wanted to add for quite a while also. And and this what it does is when you find a new domain, you will have to see what's the domain's theme, and this will affect the type of creatures you encounter, some of their capabilities, some environmental hazards. That you even have some unique events to each of the domains. So I think there are 10 or 12 of these. Things like the Astral Observatory, the Charnel Vats, Drowning Crypt, Forge of the Damned, Fungal Grotto, and more. So yeah, more places to explore and a little bit more of variety for the game. And next comes the unique rooms. For those of you who own the third Vaelorian Codex, this will be familiar to you. The thing is that there used to be 35, 36, I think. Yeah, it was a D66 table, so 36 of them. I expanded it. Now it's a D100 table, but split in half, so it's 50 total unique rooms. And this really adds a lot to the game and a little bit of more replayability and variety to your encounters. And the last thing, of course, is the 3 pre-written domains: the Cult of the Crow, the Bone Fields, and the Bleak Threshold. So in total, the book is 140 pages, something like that. So I think it turned out pretty well. I'm very happy with it. And this third issue, this third release, this unified release of the Vaelorian Codex, my patrons have access to it already, and everybody should be getting it. Everybody who owns the 3 zines, as I said before, they should be getting it in March, I assume. As usual, I'm waiting for the art and all these things. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in the works. Aside from these known releases, there's the Warring of the Ratkin, which is all already written. It's just missing the art. And that one will release once all these 3 core books are done. That will come next. Oh, I'm forgetting about the quick start. I'm also revamping them, the quick start rules. And that should be ready also around March, something like that, as soon as I can, as usual. And actually, that will probably be done quicker because I'm not adding any new content to it and no new art. I'm just updating it to the new Greybound edition. So that should be done relatively quick. I'm going to be working on it on February, so yeah, it should be done late February, early March. It should be available for everybody. And like I said, the next thing coming your way is the Warring of the Ratkin, which is a dedicated domain. It's a single book. It's around 60, 70 pages long. About, as you can imagine, exploring a whole domain ruled by the perfidious Ratkin. That's a really fun addition to the game. And after that, I'm planning on releasing the Book of Horrors, which is the official bestiary. This will have all the creatures that have been released so far, plus a bunch of new ones. My idea is to have a D100 master encounter table for the regular creatures, and a D66, I think it was, for the overseers. So yes, it's a lot of new creatures. Um, and then after this, I have a lot of plans, as you can imagine. I've been talking about the Ker Nethalas, the Hollow Realm expansion, which will take you underground, even deeper underground, in a kind of hex crawling, open sandbox type of area. And then I have the Ker Nethalas Dominion, sorry, which is about taking control of one domain and becoming the overseer, essentially, which is kind of like the old video game Dungeon Keeper. That one is also something I've been wanting to do for years now, and I just never do it. Those two expansions, I have a lot of notes for them. They are partially written, but I just never finish them. And as a matter of fact, before those two, I will probably release what I'm calling the Book of Exploration. I'm not sure if that will be the final title, but this will be a book focusing on adding more overseer influences, more events, more exploration stuff. A lot of more things to do to make sure you never run out of places to explore and new things to discover. So, well, and of course, I have a lot of more of plans in the works and things that are not so fleshed out. So, yes, there's a lot of stuff coming your way. And with that, I think that's enough for today's update. If you have any questions or you want to comment or you have any suggestions, as always, I'm open to everything. So just write a comment here down below in the comments below, or just send me an email as usual, or like always, I'm always or almost always on the Discord, so you can always ask me stuff directly there. So that's it for today, and well, thanks for watching. Bye.